So have you ever felt that the world around you is moving so fast that you just can't keep up? It's like this great push in this fast-paced society. It's a society of, the faster cars, fast food, magic bullets, fast roads to success and income and instant fixes, all kinds of things. But did you ever think about why you can't keep up with the pace? Did you ever ask yourself, the world is moving. I see all these people doing things in a short amount of time, and I feel like I just can't keep up with them. Can't keep up with them. Well, think about this. If you were to run a race, like a 10, 20 miler, or race on your bike, or even in a car, there's always something called a pace setter. Because after all, if you were to sprint, in a marathon, a full marathon, sprint for the first 5-10 minutes, you'd be wiped out. You'd be completely done. You need to set the pace. You can't go all out, otherwise you can't finish the race. Your body just won't let you. So there's always a pace setter or a pace car that is essentially setting the pace for everybody. And that's kind of what we don't do in life a lot of times. We don't have a pace setter. We're not our own pace setter. We're looking at other people. We live in a society that's very hyperactive, where sometimes we get ADD envy, maybe, because our society is built for speed, right? It's built to get things done in a short amount of time and instant this and fast results and blah, 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 and fast talking and fast movements. And maybe this race, there's races to everything, right? But often for people, it's a race to nowhere, or the magic bullet. The magic bullet, and we get to where we think we should be, and then it's another magic bullet. It's another race. So, in our minds, we have this linear concept of time. And it doesn't quite mesh with the road of like somebody finding themselves, for example. It's like the race to find yourself too. So you could apply it to career, you could apply it to relationships, but you could also apply it to something like spirituality. People are racing, or they're trying to rush to get back to themselves, which is kind of ironic. It's kind of silly if you think about it. But that's because we have this linear mindset where think of our life as a straight line, right? We have a starting point, which is us when we're born. And then we go through life, and there's an end date, which is, I guess you could call it death. But think about it. A lot of people are trying to find themselves or get back to themselves. And this just doesn't match with that, because by the time you get to the end, you're so far away and disconnected from who you were at the beginning. It's interesting. In ancient Taoist traditions, they think of life not in a more linear straight line, but in a more circular fashion, that life is a continuum. So if you compare a straight line to something like a spiral, which we see out in nature a lot, the spiral effect of plants and even some sort of animal life, a sea life, where things expand outward in this circular spiral motion, and then they move inward again. So the spiral right here, if you think of your life like a spiral instead of a straight line, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. You start here and it's like the expanding you, but it also can go both ways. Think of a circle, right? So ancient traditions, the start and end are the same. It's essentially you're going in a circular motion, a continuum throughout life, and coming back into yourself, which is really profound, I think. It's really profound. So when we're going through life and we're like, I need to get here, I need to get to a certain goal, I can't keep up with everybody. Maybe it's not about forward momentum all the time. Maybe it's about finding stillness in yourself. It's this balance between movement, action, and stillness. And a lot of people don't abide by this because they're just going with what they know or what they've been conditioned to believe, that your life is just one big straight line. Okay, maybe there's bumps and bruises along the way, but your life is one big straight line to an end date. And after that end date, who the hell knows what happens? Whereas ancient philosophies and stuff think of your life in a more circular fashion, right? You're coming back into yourself. So you never really lose yourself along the way because there's not this huge distance between. You're just going around the circle of life and coming back into yourself, whatever it is that you believe, but it's basically coming back into the original person that you are actually born with. And all this other stuff along the road is just like static. You know, movement is often a distraction for people. It can be a form of escapism, especially people the system can't shut off. They can't find a place of stillness within themselves. Always going, always running, but running to get to where, essentially? To the next place, and then they're running to the next place, and it's never really getting to a final destination. It's just that the system is overloaded, okay? The nervous system is overstimulated, and it just can't shut down, can't shut off, okay? Hyperactivity, we see this a lot. You know, it can be uncomfortable feeling like you can't keep the pace, okay? And the pace is not your own, and you're like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I keep up with everybody? You know, it's about acceptance and thriving in a world that's telling you otherwise. Because the discomfort that you feel is making you look at all those choices you've made in your life up until now and how aligned they are to you. Whether those choices are yours and whether there's something else for you that fits more as your own pace car. So set your own pace, be your own pace car. And if you feel like you can't do that, then that discomfort, again, is helping you hold a magnifying glass to your life and those choices and where you are, and maybe reevaluating, recalibrating your life to something that feels better for you. Because everybody is different. Not everybody has the same pace. Not everybody runs the same speed. And it's this giant push and pull in society that we see. So we see this giant push. We always feel like we're being pushed from behind to a certain degree, pushed into jobs maybe we don't want, relationships we don't want, pushed to hang out with people who we don't want to see, pushed to pay attention to information and drama that we don't necessarily care about. Always being pushed. Somebody's just pushing us from behind. But then when we get somewhere that frightens us, maybe we pull away a little bit. So it's this constant energetic push and pull. So just realize that, or pay attention more to that. Okay, what's pushing you in a direction where you don't want to be pushed, and where are you pulling back from? Okay, what's misaligned to you? And basically, set your own pace, okay? Look at where you are in your life, where you want to be, and decide if that's truly you, coming back into yourself. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed it, leave me a comment below, subscribe. I put out new videos every 1 to 2 weeks for you on all kinds of stuff, Chinese medicine, self-cultivation, self-empowerment type stuff. Have a great day. I will see you on the next video. Peace.